It's the first time we ever met.
All right, everyone, welcome to Pitch Fest. We're going to get started. Again, thanks to Akindo for helping us find some of these amazing founders here. We had hundreds of applications. And thanks to our sponsors, Ferrazoleo and SuperNet. I'm going to start first off by introducing our judges. We have Jared Wynn, who is managing partner of Wynn Miller Group. It will be an accelerator with comedian TJ Miller. So he will be posting a lot of updates for when their accelerator opens. Jared is a ex-finance SVP with over a decade of experience in crypto, and he really specializes in helping startups accelerate go-to-market execution. We have Arseny from Edge. He is a fintech and Web3 focused infrastructure investor. He's managing partner at Edge VC. He focuses a lot on stablecoins, payment rails, trading agents, and more. We have Yan Ma. She is executive director at Spartan. She is an architect, actually, turned crypto builder. And she is dedicated to advancing a blockchain-powered open financial future. We also have David from 1KX. He is ex-KBW Digital Assets, as well as KPMG. He's a longtime DeFi hobbyist, and he's passionate about expanding access to an open financial ecosystem. And finally, we have Jack from Nascent. He is ex-Coinbase Ventures and Visa. And he specializes in backing early stage payments, DeFi, and infrastructure startups. So we have our judges here. They're on these tables to the right and the left of the stage. Along the way, as our startups pitch, they will be asking questions. Here's our 12 startups that will be pitching: Atheo, Bond, EVVM, Hive3, Intelligence Cubed, Lane3, Loyal, Memethology, Nemesis, Satsume, Unicorn, and Vanna Protocol. The way that this pitch fest will work is each one of them will have 5 minutes of uninterrupted pitch time, or 5 minutes total of pitch time. 4 minutes they will use for their actual pitch, and then we'll get Q&A from the judges. The judges, if you could please pull up, I believe we now are using a Google form for judging. If you could pull up the form, as the startups are going through their pitches, fill out a form live. That would be great. That feedback will be passed back to these startups, and that'll help inform them on their building process as well as fundraising journey. So with that said, I'm going to invite Colton from Memethology first up to the stage. I'm going to pull up the, you have a 5-minute timer here, so be mindful.
Do we get speaker notes on here?
Maybe. I'm not sure. It'll just be.
I have a backup if needed.
Okay. So here's all the decks downloaded. Okay. All right.
I love the green color, by the way.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Let's see. Okay, hello, ETHDenver. Let's see. Looks like videos did not download, so I've got a quick fix here. Just gonna remove a couple of images. Or not. Let's roll with this. Okay, so my brother's here. He's going to be passing out some cards, and you may have seen these going around ETHDenver. These are from our project Memethology. We've distributed tens of thousands of cards this week, and we're ETHDenver's official lore partner. The tech world today feels like an epic fantasy adventure. There are legendary founders, evil villains, magic protocols, and apparently we're summoning our AI gods as we speak. What an epic story. My name's Colton Orr. I'm a former Spider-Man artist and the founder of Memethology. I started this as an art project. We sold out twice, sold over 10,000 digital packs, did over 70K in revenue. And early on, I realized that people weren't just buying a game, they were buying identity. When people collect our cards, they often say, this is us. This is our collective story. No other IP does this, where we're building a native IP for the internet and crypto age. Where old IPs had these massive budgets, centralized studios, and slow production cycles, AI and crypto have empowered our tiny team to build a universe to rival Disney. In addition to the physical cards, we have a digital app with ecosystem support from Base. We just finished the Base Batches Accelerator. In our app, players buy and rip digital booster packs that have beautifully illustrated and interactive foil effects. We also just launched a card creator bot, which allows anybody to easily create their own cards. And then we take those community created cards, select the best, and put them into this next set. This type of community engagement has never been possible before. But what about distribution? Distribution is, of course, the big scary monster these days, and it's harder than ever to stand out. But these physical cards are magic. I love watching people's eyes light up when they see these cards. And by partnering with conferences like ETHDenver, we put cards directly into the hands of thousands of people. And the QR codes lead directly back into the digital experience. The cards create unforgettable moments that surprise and delight. And conference attendees take these cards home and share them with their communities. We've also partnered with conferences like DevCon, DevConnect, EdCon, and started making custom cards for companies like Zirkit and DDOB, if you went around to their booth. And this is a classic partnership model that we'll continue to use with ever larger brands. The collectibles market is massive and growing fast, over $350 billion globally, and digital trading cards are exploding. Pokemon Pocket did $1.3 billion in their first year alone. Most trading cards don't have stories people can relate to, but Memethology feels instantly relatable because it reflects the real stories of humanity. This is a viral IP, one where the community crowdsources ideas and the company curates these AAA experiences. We're building the Memethology universe. Disney started as animated shorts. Memethology begins as a TCG. Each began with a story people love. Each ends in a universe of toys, games, movies, TV shows, and beyond. Our team blends professional art, game design, and NFT platform engineering to deliver world-class collectibles. We're also backed by the best, and our lead investor is Juan Benet, founder of Protocol Labs and IPFS. We're raising a $200K angel round with a $3 million cap. Memethology is a beloved IP with true fans, and I invite you on this adventure to support us as we scale it. Thank you. And we have 43 seconds if anybody has some questions.
Hi, thanks a lot. Looks beautiful. Couple of questions. One, you say it's viral. What evidence do you have that it's becoming viral? And secondly, what people can do with the cards once they go home?
So I'll start with the second question. It's a fully playable game, so it's similar to like Magic or Hearthstone, and we'll actually be playing here tomorrow. So anybody who wants to come by between 1 and 3, we'll be teaching and playing the game. On the viral side, the way that we hacked this was that most games that come out these days, they only succeed if they have some huge IP behind them. Like if Pokemon launches something, it's going to do well. But if you launch your new fantasy thing, it's really hard to stand out. But the cards already have a story. The second you see something that is like the Satoshi spirit, it's Zuckerberg, you have a story that comes with you. And that is a way of sort of hijacking these viral memes that are already out there and allowing people to just bring a story into the game that we already have. I think that was the time. Are we good? Okay. Thank you, guys. And We've got a booth in the back, in the dark corner in the merch area. So come by and find the people with the crazy hats if you want to chat more.
All right, up next, we have Russell from Unicorn, and he's just going to pull up his pitch deck. And of course, you know the timer.
Got it. It really is here. Let's see. Do I just full screen it or what? Should I just full screen it or what? Because it's not. Oh, there it is. Ah, there you guys are. All right. Brands want loyalty. Human beings just want simplicity. It ends up that all they get is phishing scams, bad interfaces, and sprawl about the user experience. And this is the reason that we made Unicorn.eth. We provide one account that drives all of a brand's engagements, the entire experience, to remove any sort of ambiguity around the whole experience. My name is Russell Castanero, and I'm the co-founder for Unicorn.eth. The membership and loyalty economy is about $1 trillion industry. Unfortunately, all that value leaks through really bad experiences, really bad user experiences, sprawl that sends you all sorts of different places that ends up stopping you from ever making your first transaction. How many of you have like 200 accounts with loyalty and you use about 12? I know you're not raising your hand because you all have them. It's a mess. One place to go keeps it very simple. Friction is what kills it all, right? ETHDenver is the perfect example. When we launched last year, before it, oh, do you have a wallet? Which wallet is the right one? Have you staked your Spork? Do you have Spork? Are you a member? Have you joined the co-op? It was a nightmare, and it took 20 minutes. We brought that down to 90 seconds. Now, it's the same thing in the real world. School. I have kids in school, they get a PDF with a list of links that go and they talk about, go to this website. They all have different logins. They all have different payment flows. And it's a complete nightmare to try and keep up with it. It's not an event problem. It's not a Web3 problem. It's not a school problem. It's a membership problem. And that's what we solve with Unicorn's branded wallet, which we'll get to here. Okay. The branded membership portal gives everybody that joins their own unique account. That's an ENS address, gives them a unique URL that they can go to, that they never have to worry about a phishing attack. They never have to open up a wallet for Wallet Connect. It all connects perfectly. If they're using Web 2, they can use Web 2. And the best part is the brands control the entire experience, and they have fantastic analytics on what they need. As you probably guessed, we're B2B2C, so our clients are brands. So we have a very boring revenue model of 70% from subscription fees, professional services follow on, and then marketplace and placement fees. Now, what do we do that's different? We turn membership and loyalty into a reusable and valuable asset instead of a throwaway. Oh, a new brand that you bolt on. All these things that we have up here are great, but what we also do is allow the brand to get in, either dive in full force or just stick their toe in without doing a massive integration. And compliance, data compliance is built in, not bolted on. Our clients love us. ETHDenver, we're the only IT or technology provider that's been brought back twice. Live what you love. We're doing workforce credentialing. We're doing BitBasil. We got onboarded people in 2 minutes, and they were able to submit an NFT to prove that they actually were part of art that was going to the moon. Arbitrum and Polygon, we were able to onboard total noobs onto the blockchain, have them do transactions without any issues whatsoever. And we have 3 more contracts with non-Web3 companies that we'll be completing in the next 3 weeks. We give insights into both the member experience. They know exactly what to do. They can handle everything. On the brand side, you know what works, what tactics you've tried, what doesn't work, and even what users liked those things or did those things. Something that you don't have with all these disparate networks that are out there now. We've been focusing mainly on early adopters and events, but we are migrating up to brands that are Web 2 brands. We don't discriminate between Web 2 and Web 3. We believe that enterprise is where we will stay and live. The team, I've done lots of great projects that I won't talk about because I want to get to the questions. So Griff Green is a hero. I've done My Colorado here in Hawaii. I mean, here in Colorado, and Gardner is storytelling in action. Thank you. Any questions?
Hi, I have two questions.
Sure.
Firstly, I see the use case for this and why it's necessary, but I would ask, what necessitates the utilization of blockchain specifically, if you could clarify that a little bit further? And then secondarily, why are you the best team to make this happen?
Those are two great questions. The first is that right now, loyalty is basically a point system in a database in a silo, right? It's not something that a user can bring anywhere. It's not something that the brand really values other than trying to get them to the next level. With blockchain technology, you can let brands try out experiments with the different things they want to do to encourage use, to drive the right behaviors, to drive the right experiences. And they can do this much less expensively than they can with their own, just by tokenizing and doing it for gamification or for tracking, not monetization. You don't have to monetize to be able to leverage the blockchain in a way that totally upends all the other providers that are out there for loyalty, whether you're looking at Oracle or you're looking at Smile, right? They all have a big disadvantage. We're the right people to do it because I've done payment and identity systems at the enterprise level for 15 years. Griff Green, I mean, aside from saving Ethereum twice, he's also been driving the ecosystem for Ethereum for many years with Giveth and now with the security DAO. And Gardner has even been like an MTV VJ. So we have sort of everything all covered. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Okay. You can find yours. All right, up next we have EVVM, and we have German as the presenter.
Okay, thank you all to be here. I'm Germán, CEO of EVVMs. It's virtual asset blockchains for agents at banks. With our solution, any project or institution can deploy in a permissionless way their own blockchain on top of any other infrastructure without paying monthly fees or anything. So the mega frictions that we have on EVM today that we are addressing: gas tokens, broken wallets, token incompatibility, in example X402, complex privacy solutions, permissions and risks, node logics or illogics, and more copy-pastas, L1, L2s, and nodes, as we hear recently. So EVVM solves all these things. So we think that we are the future home for agents. We have a gasless UX. So when you deploy an EVVM, you will have a full gasless UX blockchain on Ethereum, on Base, on Arbitrum. It's infraless. You don't need to care about infra. You will inherit all the security audits and all the expenses that has the host chain, because it's paying, and this is smart contracts. There is full composability with every chain while you deploy this, so you can access to all the protocols that are already deployed on this chain, all the liquidity. There is CK privacy and full homomorphic encryption confidentiality already implemented in our modules, so you can have CK vaults, so you can do also CK 402 natively now. There is, of course, X402 native paymaster and async nonces from always. It's not new, so X402 was always compatible with any EVVM. And you can do EVVMs, virtual blockchains, deployed by you that they're KYC, AML, or EAP 8004 compatible, that only this kind of actors can interact within it. So what it is, it's a blockchain inside a blockchain. With these smart contracts, you are literally having your own private environment with your own rules to get in, to get out, both on any blockchain in a permissionless way. So you will choose, coding just in Solidity, how this will behave. And of course, it's full composability with all the protocols. So our progress, by far, we have more than 200 EVVMs deployed by devs in more than 10 different chains. We saw CK BVMs for private payments and private relaying of payment, checks, pay any bill, now working on Ethereum. Payment X402, payment required middleware. There is full homomorphic for confidentiality. There is gasless UX payment apps that are being built on it, and more. We also are working with entity data and a Hyperledger Visu solution where they make composability in a Hyperledger between many banks for their own privacy, and they are bridged to Ethereum mainnet using our own solutions with their own infra, using relayers and trusted execution environments, so they can access liquidity from mainnet, and they can offer their products on mainnet while they are on Hyperledger Visu private blockchain. This is on test. It's not deployed yet, but there is a test, and we already made a demo in the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust event by them, Entity Data. So this is the team. We are very experienced. Our business model, sorry, this is not full showing there. We offer customizations with Entity Data, that this is kind of scalable up to 10 million a year. We also deploy using our EVVM market solutions. Now we are working in a gasless payment with a card associated with it, and with this we are going to market also as a company. Mate Labs is a company, and a marketplace that, like happened with WordPress that was mentioned before, we are also going to have a marketplace for different EVVMs ready to deploy. The deployment is just one command, 5 minutes, and you will have it. We have already our CLI deployer. So why is cheaper? Please ask me for this slide later. And well, in 2026, the ecosystem is Ethereum and your abstracted virtual machine for your needs. Banks, CK, and well, we are in pre-seed. We are asking for 300,000 to 1 million. We already raised 190,000, and the costs are for operations and growing. Thank you.
Hi, I have a question. You said you can deploy the whole AML and KYC process on chain, and I wonder what do you think is the advantages of this process instead of use centralized solutions?
If you have now your
One more
private...
to add to that will be complementary to it. Is your implementation of 8004 intended to be a supplementation or an augmentation of KYC requirements? Is your implementation of 8004, is it meant to supplement, or is it meant to replace the requirement of KYC through reputation basis, or is it as well? Is it something that you're looking to augment other KYC requirements?
Well, here you are going to deploy a virtual blockchain with your own rules. So basically, you can put the KYC in as a middleware on chain, so you know that then all the products that are inside your EVM, CK Vaults, in example, for privacy, you do a KYC, and then after the KYC, you have CK Vaults inside, so you are compliant with any KYC needed for your region, and you don't need to know who are your customers inside doing these CK movements. And this is a compliance way, because no one that is not KYC'd can interact within this blockchain ecosystem, these virtual blockchains. And then you can deploy any other products, and you can do composability thinking in this, and you will know who is interacting and who is not. I don't know if this answered very well the question. And regarding your question, I mean, if you are telling me that you need this configuration, I'm not sure for what it is, but it's possible, because it's just Solidity. So any integration that you can do with Solidity, and even if you need some sharding execution on the relayers, you can code it. And with the current models, it will not be very difficult. We also have a full LLMS TXT that will convert any AI agent in a full stack deployer and programmer of EVBM, just loading this file. So thank you.
All right, up next we have Satsume Protocol, and Eric will be presenting.
Okay. Sorry. Hi, I'm Eric, co-founder and CEO of Satsume Labs, and we're making a launchpad for backed consumer assets. So we're solving two problems. First, launchpads today have massive issuance volumes, but most tokens have limited utility, and these models are likely to struggle in bear markets. Number two, product discovery in Web 2 is broken. We as consumers take real risks when we support emerging brands and creators, yet when these take off, we get none of the upside. So Satsume's vision is to use launchpads to tokenize real consumer brands, shops, and products, real assets that regular people know best. These assets can then be used to reward early support and to de-risk product discovery. So for example, on Satsume, liking something before it was cool, like Sriracha, wouldn't just earn you Reddit karma or bragging rights, but instead it would earn you stake in the brand or product itself through something like a Sriracha token, which would be backed by actual Sriracha sales. So how does this work? Satsume is composed of 3 integratable components that together form a full stack launchpad and a commercial operating system that lets you link your tokenomics with your actual on-chain businesses. So first is the launchpad for tokenizing brands and shops. This has programmable revenue buybacks built in so that all tokens launched on Satsume will natively have price to sale ratios. Number 2 is the creator backend. This is where token issuers back their tokens. This is a Shopify-like hub for managing your on-chain businesses, hopping on live streams, and viewing your shop data. And number 3 is the integratable marketplace, which brings us all together. So on this marketplace, you're shopping and investing at the same time. So while you're browsing products, you can view token issuance information, TDV, and so on. And likewise, while you are in our launchpad, you can be browsing products, creator reviews, and creator information. So Satsume's goal is to blur the line between investing and consumption. And the definition of consumer and the types of businesses that we can tokenize are quite broad. So for example, think about live streamers that you can trade stakes in rather than just tip, AI agentic services that you can train, own, and monetize yourself, or payment-gated creator content that you can seed like a VC. So no matter what type of business you have, Satsume is enabling you to tokenize on-chain and make a more community-owned, alive, and energetic consumer experience. And Satsume currently is no longer just a concept. We're already live. So since launching on Sepolia last October, we've generated 70,000 registered wallet addresses with 8,000 people interacting with our protocols daily. And we've already onboarded our first batch of brand merchants. So we have been in discussions with streetwear brands, electronics makers, gaming communities to tokenize and get access to Web3 consumers. About our team, we come from a background of Web3, TradFi, and tech. So Selena comes from traditional equities, has a good background in markets and tradings. Aurora comes from Web3, B2B partnerships and operations. And Ponta has built several scalable Web2 and Web3 applications. Yeah, I'll start here and take any questions.
Testing. Awesome. Yeah, I'm curious about the gated approach you have for allowing companies to launch on your launchpad, or if there are any requirements they have to meet before launching?
Okay. Yeah. So we're completely decentralized. So anybody can launch on our launchpad, and they can say they'll dedicate 5% or X% of their revenues to buy back their tokens. But of course, our go-to-market, we're going to onboard like so-called verified merchants that we approve, that are high quality, and that we think will do well.
Okay, I saw you tokenize some items. I wonder how do you avoid if the items are damaged or there are some low quality, this kind of things, but the investor do not know this kind of things. Yeah.
So yes. So you're talking about what investors know?
Yes,
or
the items may be damaged or it is have poor qualities, but it will not show on the dashboard.
Yeah. Okay. So similar to my initial answer, we're going to onboard high quality merchants, and I think for the decentralized portion, this is a do your own research decentralized protocol. So everyone has the responsibility of, analyzing whether or not they think the token issuer is high quality, and then some of them, a lot of tokens will obviously fail, but a lot of them will be able to give you a 5x, 6x returns.
Okay, thank you.
So for these vetted merchants, are you forcing them to use on-chain functionalities for the flow of funds? Or if they're off-chain, how are you guaranteeing that those flow of funds or those revenues make it on-chain and be distributed to token holders?
Yeah, so I didn't include this in this version of the deck, but we have an entire smart contract architecture where everyone has their own shop is actually their own smart contract, and it's owned in their own wallets. But of course, for our verified merchants, we don't expect them to be Web3 natives. So on top of this, we have basically a custodial and centralized, that's an optional version that they can use if they want, so that they can put in USD into their accounts with us, and we can help them settle on chain. And then all revenues will be automatically allocated by smart contracts. So there's no risk of I bought $10 worth of product and the revenues didn't get to the token holders. All right. Thank you.
All right. So next up, we have Abene from Loyal Network, and also a reminder for the judges: if you are interested in seeing more beyond these 5-minute pitches, we have a gallery with the startup full decks that we'll link to you again after this pitch fest. It is full screen. Okay. Yeah.
So the timer started already?
Whenever you start, it'll start.
Okay, cool. Hello. Just a second. Hello. Yeah. So, well, good afternoon, Denver. Loyalty isn't broken. It's just locked. And we at Loyal.network basically unlock it. I am Abhinay Bhatt, the COO of Loyal.network. The main problem that the enterprises are facing right now is that $360 billion worth of loyalty points reside on their balance sheet as liabilities. Giants such as Amex, Marriott, Delta, etc. have billions of unredeemed points on their order books. And this is basically because users are not able to claim these loyalty points due to fragmentation, expiry, and lack of redemption options. I'm sure many of us here have miles or rewards lying somewhere in your accounts which you've never been able to claim and have eventually expired. And that's where we come in. Loyal.network provides a global settlement layer where you can convert your loyalty points into digital settlement assets. That solves the fragmentation problem because we bring everything under one umbrella so that you can convert even 1 cent worth of loyalty point into digital assets. It solves the problem with expiry because digital assets on blockchain never expire. And as you'll see in the coming slides, we also give the users a number of options for redemption. Let's take a quick look of how our alpha looks right now. So here's a short video. I guess the audio isn't playing, so I'll just explain it in short. Users can come to our platform. They can use their social media to register, as we are using account abstraction. They don't need to have a key. It's a smart wallet that's auto-generated. They can come and link the partner program which they are a part of and see their balance. And at this screen, they can simply convert their loyalty points into the digital assets. Once verified, they can view their new balance because their loyalty points are now converted into digital assets. And they can even check the history in the activity tab. So we've kept the navigation of the UI pretty simple so that even non-native Web3 users are able to use the platform. Moving on, we've talked about what the problem is. We've talked about how we plan to solve it. Now let's move to why are we the best ones to do so. We already have 15 plus airline partners with major partners including Emirates, Etihad, Air Asia, etc. We have 100 plus merchants across the globe. And if you count the aggregators as well, this number jumps to 10,000 plus merchants. So this is where we solve the redemption problem, giving users a lot of options in order to redeem. We have 5 live enterprise customers and already hold 4 patents in 6 countries. That's why we are already revenue positive and have generated 2 million plus in net revenue in the last 2 years. Furthermore, the team has been grinding in production for the last 4 years, even before tokenization. Our revenue model is pretty simple. We charge enterprises a one-time integration fees. We charge them a subscription fees for more features. And on the product side, we charge users a nominal fee for conversion of loyalty points and for settlements. Furthermore, we also generate revenue from the advertisements on our platform. This is the team behind it all with years of experience in loyalty, blockchain, and infrastructure domain. What we are seeking today is strategic partners to join us, and we are raising 1 million in seed round in order to accelerate the integrations that we can do in parallel for new enterprises to increase the liquidity that we have in our protocol and to tighten the security in our product by doing audits, regression tests, stress tests, etc. That's been my time. Thank you so much for being attentive. Do let me know if any questions.
Yep. One question from over here.
Yeah,
so
sure.
How exactly do you calculate the value of each loyalty point during the conversion? And then also, how do you convert the off-chain points into like on-chain value? Like, are you using zk-TLS or?
No, actually, there's a concept called CPP, cost per point, that is decided between the enterprise and us managing it. So there's ideally a contract made, technically it's for a year, and the value that's decided between the parties is ideally same across all loyalty programs. To give you an example, let's say Amazon decides that 1 point is worth 1 cent. So there's a contract signed as part of the CPP. On the technical side, how this is handled is we have one-to-one mirroring. So we use Cosmos for the stablecoin mirroring, where we mirror 1 Amazon point to one token on the Cosmos chain. And then on top is the public layer wherein our token comes in. So our token price fluctuates, but the intrinsic value of the loyalty point remains the same because of this architecture.
Question from me. I think on the demand side, it's pretty clear that you're removing the friction. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Removing the friction for redemption of the points, but on the supply side, sometimes it's not even good for the enterprises to have this redemption happen because if people forget about it or expires, and then you just go away, right? So how do you actually address the supply side?
Yeah, so we have something called as protocol control liquidity, PCL. So we can actually control how much the enterprise wants to liquidate. So we given a number, let's say an enterprise can add 10K worth of liquidations for a week, and as soon as that is hit, API goes out to them stating that, okay, this much is liquidated, do you want to add more? So enterprise get control over it. If they feel that no, we don't want to move more liquidity from our books, they can straight away not add more liquidity. So we're just giving them a settlement layer, but we don't decide as to what's the limit to their conversion. So that keeps them happy as well. So they get control over the liquidation. Any more questions?
Yeah, when it comes to the interoperability of the points that you mentioned, can you elaborate on that and talk to if they are tradable assets on chain?
Yes. So to give you an example, let's start with what if we didn't use blockchain. Okay. So in case you don't use blockchain, the integration between two parties is one-to-one. It's a bilateral integration. So when you use blockchain, what happens is you come to our platform and it's a one-time integration. So let's say Delta, Amex, and Amazon, they all three come in together. If you're not using blockchain, they all need to do a bilateral connection with each other. But by using blockchain, they just integrate with us once, and they get exposure to all the merchants we have and all the partner programs we have. So that is the interoperability that we are talking about. It makes things global. Plus, it also solves fragmentation, like I said, expiry issues and redemption issues. So that's how it works. Any more questions? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Stacy from Hive 3.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Quackenbush, co-founder and CEO of Hive 3. If you're anything like me, you're using about 6 to 8 apps to manage your global community or your company. These apps may have AI or blockchain, and it's unlikely they have monetization rails. You probably have to integrate them yourself. This is not scalable. Right now, communities are companies. Communities are driving global economies, but they're running on fragmented tools that are not substantial. This is not sustainable. At Hive 3, we bring it all together. You get human verification, blockchain and AI tools that run across your apps, plus compounding rewards. How it works? Every community gets a Hive, and in that Hive, you can run quests, events, you can have marketplaces and content. You can use AI to manage it, blockchain to reward it, and monetize all of it. Why now? Because communities are becoming the new companies, and companies are driving economies, and they're working on outdated, fragmented tools that were meant for socializing. The business model is simple. Subscriptions, we're B2B2C, subscriptions, revenue from app integrations, and events. With every Hive, which is an application, you get a virtual space. And this year, thus far, we've got 2 conferences, a gaming tournament, and a hackathon booked. Traction. Thus far, we've done pretty well. We have tested our product in 75 countries. We've received a Circle grant. We just started onboarding communities, and we are already at 1.2 million targeted by end of the year in ARR. We're actually launching globally on crypto nights on Amazon Prime to 12 million this spring. Our go-to-market strategy is pretty simple. You build a product that when people use it, they promote it, and then it comes back to the platform. Our user base is 50% gaming companies, 25% Web3 organizations, and 25% Web2 brands. The team, serial entrepreneurs with 2 exits that have shipped over 100 products and that have worked with brands like Apple, Microsoft, Nissan, and United. I'm Stacy Quackenbush, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Hive 3. Thank you. Thanks. Any questions?
Would you give some, like, the user case of this one? The certain user cases?
Sure. One of our earliest adopters was Conflux. They have 500,000 developers. So they're using our platform to bring the developers together. So they get to offer tasks, reward the tasks. They have the virtual space to actually do workshops and trainings. They also get the ability to bring their global community together in places that are different than places like this. So that's really part of what was important to them, and also to reward their ecosystem. They could do it all from one centralized dashboard, and that was really important to them. And one of their biggest pain points was they have, I think, 4 or 5 Discords alone. They get to integrate their Telegram, their Discord, and all their channels and manage it through one centralized dashboard.
Got it. Thank you.
Can you share a little bit more about perhaps something that could be considered a competitor to this and what your competitive advantages would be against that?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So we've been compared to a lot of different things. Like, for example, on the Web 2 side, LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, we really pick up where they leave off with as far as credentialing and using on and off chain data points with AI to create analytics that are really meaningful. Additionally, I would say unicorn.eth would be another one where communities come together in one centralized place to manage their community using on-chain possibilities. I think where we extend it is that we have AI as well. And you have AI that represents your community. You have AI that can actually work as an assistant to manage your community. And then that AI analytics that go across all of our communities and within your communities to provide you really robust information. Like, who are great potential clients? Who should you be networking with? And where are your best job leads? You're welcome.
Awesome. So now we have Kenneth from Autheo.
Thank you. All right, can we hear me all right? All right. So, we are Autheo. We are extremely different. We're not following the traditional paradigm of crypto and blockchain. We believe that blockchain is a technology and a platform all in itself. There is more to the world than trading and sending money back and forth. So our focus is focused entirely on being able to take the crypto, take the platforms, and make it more secure. Not just ZK proofs, not just more VMs, but actually reinventing the blockchain from the ground up. Everything quantum security, quantum privacy, quantum obfuscation and camouflage. The list goes on to bore you to death. So why is this needed? More and more we do hear from even the leaders of other blockchains talk about how important crypto needs to be secured better as quantum threats become larger. We've taken that to the next level. While they've been talking about it, we've actually been building it for the last year. So we're far, far along compared to, let's talk about it, let's go through the governance, let's go through the process. We're fresh. We don't have to go through that. We can build it from scratch, from the beginning, and avoid all the drama and the lag that goes with it. What this comes with? Brand new consensus models, brand new ledgers, completely decentralized infrastructure as you take the quantum stack, and it goes from multiple layers. This is an actual operating system. If you think Linux, if you think Windows, there's all this magic hidden behind the scenes. Our focus is to abstract it. We want actual utility for people to adopt blockchain, the technology. As you know, if you are a developer, coming into the world is extremely complicated, especially when you look at all the options that are out there. There should really only be 5 to 10 blockchains that exist that are worthwhile building. Everybody else is just, well, a wannabe clone. Sorry. So what do we have? We have over 300,000 wallets on our system. We are in testnet. We are preparing to go to mainnet at the end of March. We are in the middle of a security process and audits and compliance for all of our solutions and utilities. Yes, and here's a wonderful roadmap for you to look at. I'm running out of time, so I'm just trying to move along a little faster. What is the sustainable model? It comes from a lot of things. This is an operating system. You get the operating system for free, but the value comes with the suite of tools and applications that are within it. It's not just about, let me send my token to another chain. Let me, convert it to money. This is about infrastructure. This is about letting developers have a place to sell and monetize their solutions, their applications, their libraries to make more money, right? The developers are the ones that end up getting screwed in the world on the blockchain ecosystem. This platform is for developers. This is what we want the future to be built on, not all these legacy chains. So, this is a little bit about us. I'm running out of time here, so moving along. But this is us, right? We're looking for a little bit of funding to help us get through mainnet and launching our applications almost entirely around security, testing, compliance, alignment with National Institute of Standards and Technologies, FIPS compliance for the entire stack, right? So that you have a pure quantum stack from the bottom to the top, not just calling a library that will do something for you. This is entirely native on the bottom. We are engaging quantum computing labs for actual testing, penetration testing, to make sure that this is going to be truly resistant to the threats that are out there. So, pause. Any questions?
Thank you. Can you talk a little bit more about economics? What does it cost, and what are the restrictions on the validation, on speed, etc.?
So around the tokenomics, is that?
Economics of the process. So how much does it cost? What does it cost to the users, to the apps, etc.?
So the core operating itself is going to be free. You can use the operating system itself. The economic model is going to come from, if you want to run your own quantum storage nodes, you can acquire your own storage so that you truly have sovereign ownership of your data, leveraging the quantum, the utilities, the applications that exist on the platform, our Authio identity, we have our Zero Veil platform, we have a whole suite of operating system tools that come with it, but you can build your own applications to deploy on the operating system, just like everything else. So the core is free. Most of the economics are going to come from enhancements, utility, and transactions.
One more question. How are you going about attracting developers to build on your platform, and what type of applications would you like to see being built?
So we have a lot of interest from developers. With us going through security audits and testing right now, we've been doing demos all week long over there, showing people what it exists, what it looks like, how it works, and giving them real life demos. How this is going to actually roll out. What was the last question? I'm sorry.
What type of applications would you like to see being built?
We want to see everything, right? It's not limited to a DeFi. We have personas built into it. So if your persona is, hey, I'm doing my financial transactions today in my banking, go select that persona. If you're looking for your development environment, your IDEs, great. Go click the user persona for DevHub, and now you can start doing drag and drop orchestration of blockchains from layer 1s, layer 2s, all that, and it's one-click deployment. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have Fernando. He's with Intelligence Cubed. And after this, we have 4 more startups.
Hello everyone, I'm Fernando, founder and CEO of Intelligence Cube, and thank for Akindo and Bufficorn Ventures. So why we're calling Intelligence Cube? Because we are trying to empower AI and embodied intelligence by decentralized intelligence. So that's why we are calling Intelligence Cube. And we're building a DAC-driven open source modelwares. This year is the 2nd year after DAC. So we're building the world's first AI model NASDAQ. So here you can just invest your next DeepSeek, which is an abnormal deal here as retail investors. So over the past year, I have talked with Vitalik and Thomas in SSF and Token. And we believe the most natural way to build AI is decentralized. And we believe that the decentralized intelligence would be the solution to AI bubble. So everyone is talking about AI bubble currently, and we're trying to overcome them and solve their problem here. The first, we are trying to create a creator economy for model co-creation to lower down the economic limit. And for real-time limits, we're empowering the communities to supply their data and use this data for auto fine-tuning or auto prompt tuning to make the database of the machine learning models to be on real-time and solve any kind of niche questions. And for ecosystem limits, we're use blockchain as a router to integrate and connect all the open source machine learning model. And we believe that for every of them, it can be with better performance for niche scenarios, and we're routing them, so also with good user experiences. So here is our platform. If you are an original creator, maybe initially your model will be closed source. You can just use initial model offering to list your model on our modelers. And after it get crowdfunded by the community and more than 15% ownership are invested, this model will go open source. That means all the models, weights, data, and updates will be open source. And for the all the retail investors, they can just have revenue sharing from the inference revenue for both API calls and chatbot functions on our platform, even after it go open source. So after it go open source, it will enable for the fine tuning, especially for the co-creation, which added so much value for productivity for these machine learning models. And we are developed a way like updated version for Arc 804 and talked with Vitalik and Thomas before. And everyone know 804 is just for the reputation, but just looking for some kind of research paper. Not only the reference list on chain is valuable, but also we are trying to integrate them by our watermark mechanism to a single incentive, that is similarity or citation rates, and it can be directly reflect to the royalty accumulation rates to all the co-creators. So we just create an automatically go-to-market workflow for all the machine learning models, from closed source to open source, and then automatically go to market by derivative creators to make it adapt to business and then to consumer side. And every co-creator, they can just focus on which step they are most good at or they are most interested in. And with all this data on chain, especially for the investment and also the usage on chain, which is for real-time, transparent, and cannot be added, we are create a democratic dynamic benchmark to solve the traditional AI benchmark market, which is so slow, expensive, and most end user will not look at that. So we're use a way like a e-commerce simulation. So mostly we're focused on objective indicator, that is usage or investment activity on chain by the users, and we have some vertical index to let people to determine which model they would like to invest or use by how intelligent they will be. So with this mechanism, we have a proof of intelligence mechanism to automatically shift the model price within a range on our platform, and there is no need to launch a subtoken. So it enables real high quality model developers from Web 2 side to easily get on board on our platform with no compliance or stereotype or some administrative issues or concerns. So we have basically we have 4 layers to generate revenue. The first will be transaction layer. We can just have revenue sharing from the usage or ownership investment. And also for the infrastructure layer, we have a matchmaking mechanism. It's just like a CVTI, where matchmake the data and compute suppliers, both centralized or decentralized, to some model creator for pre-trained or some inference or hosting services. And we'll charge the matchmaking fee for them. And for data and intelligence layer, we have benchmark API calls and full data subscription selling, both to B and to C. And in the future, what we would like to do is an index fund for different vertical tracks for machine learning models and investment portfolios, just like JP Morgan personal advisor investment. So we are charging the management trading fees, and at that time, we are subsidy and sponsor the first 3 layer to get more user and with better user experiences. So for our team, all of us are based in Silicon Valley. Yeah, we're with background, in top U.S. universities and big tech companies from Berkeley, Stanford, MIT, Carnegie Mellon, Caltech, and Howard. And also, I was an investor in one company in China before, and we also have some people from OpenAI, also research fellow from Microsoft and Google DeepMind. And we have Professor Tessin Lee as our advisor, who was also the mentor to Andrew Ng before. And also we have Orion as our advisor, the GP of Orindale. And we have more than 20 PhD or postdoc from top universities or research lab in the US who are supplying the current more than 500 in-house creative model and our modelers. And we also have more than 1.2 million from public supply machine learning models on our platform with high quality. And for the traction, currently we have totally 2.5 million MAU, and we are supporting for multi-chain, especially EVMs, but we are also supporting for SVMs. And you can see here we're the top 3 among all the DApps on BNB chain, but we are also deploying on other EVM chains. So currently, we got some listing offers from top exchanges, and we're trying to raise more money. And if you are interested, feel free to scan this QR code and add me on Telegram. Thanks so much.
Quick question. How are you kind of attracting these very high quality models to be on your platform, and are they exclusive? Because many of these models can either be proprietary or they would be monetized in other ways.
Yeah. Maybe it's hard for all our competitors, but it's really easy for us because all of our team members are training model ourselves, and even we have top 1% new reps oral. So some model developers or creators, they are just our classmates, our professors, our alumni. So we're backed by our own reputation. So it's really too easy to get them on board on our platform with no stereotype or compliance concerns for Web3 space. And also we have some grants from compute providers, including GCP, AWS, and also Asia. So we have donated more than 1 million computes.
Dance party. If you like to dance, go to the Vibes Lounge next to the main stage. Wolfie on the tracks, and female vocalist and producer from LA, Fi Sullivan, goes on from 5 to 6 p.m.
Yeah, and I'm also guest lecturer at Carnegie Mellon, so we donate more than 1 million compute grant to Carnegie Mellon and to get their professors and postdoc or PhDs to get on board on our platform to list their models. Thanks.
All right, up next we have Nathan from Bond Credit. All right, 5 minutes starts.
Hello. Yeah. All right. So my name is Nathan Vandy. And I am CEO at Bond.Credit. And today we're talking about building the credit layer for the agentic economy. Let's look at the context first. Capital is entering a new regime. Regulatory tailwinds such as MiCA regulation, Genius Act, VARA in Dubai are leading to scaling stablecoin supply, which is compressing DeFi yields. It was as low as 2% last week at Aave. And at the same time, it's going to start to bring on uncorrelated RWA yield as well. And the thesis that agents are going to be the new curators who manage that capital as it comes on chain. At the same time, the context of lending is important to understand. We're moving from asset-based lending, which is based on the price of the asset and liquidation mechanisms, to actor-based lending. And the importance of this is that it allows you to unlock a lot more capital efficiency. Let's think about it. If we ask students to give an over-collateralized loan to access education, education wouldn't be going anywhere. And so as you have more observable risk and enforceable control, you can get more capital efficiency. So let's move to the problem that we're solving, which is that capital can't flow to agents right now. And we're seeing that even though there was a real big peak in AUM for agents, it's gone down quite a bit. And this is not just due to a change in the macro environment, but also due to lack of trust. Agents struggle to access capital and allocators struggle to price the risk of these agents. And this is despite agents outperforming the rest of the market. If we look at this first graph, this is 10-10, as most of you are aware of, and the DeFi AUM fell by 11% during this time, and the AUM for stablecoin yield agents fell by 1%, which shows that they have better market discipline. At the same time as well, we have agents that are starting to outperform the compressing passive DeFi yields and are hitting around 5 to 10%. So as we're looking to give credit, we need to understand it from first principles. Credit is information and control. And with agents, they hit the pinnacle where you can have very great observable risk because all of the agents' verifiable history is on chain and you can continuously understand their data. And we can use crypto native mechanisms in order to create programmable restraints, policy enforced capital access in order to get even more capital efficiency. The best analogy for this is HFTs. In the early 2000s, when algorithms were touted to start managing capital for fund managers, a lot of people were scared. And if you look now, over 50% of the capital in a traditional market is managed by HFTs. This is our thesis for agents as well. But what's missing is the underwriting layer to bring that trust. And so that's what we're doing at Bond.Credit. We're already working with 87% of the AUM of stablecoin yield agents. They're signed with us. And we aggregate these agents and we put them into our agentic credit engine so that we can understand the risk and the probability of default. Next, we're working with some of the best chains out there to start deploying our credit vaults. They're going to support us with liquidity and distribution. And the next step after that, once we've tightened our credit engine and the credit vaults, is to create credit agentic money, where we'll start creating junior and senior tranches from a yield coin minted against the credit vault. The business, well, it's pretty clear. We're going to be having our assets under management and take some carry on from there, but then we'll also get protocol fees from AGUSD once it's minted in the future. These are some of the other revenues that we can have in the future, such as agents listing and scoring, but the bulk of the money will come from the AUM fees as we sit on top of that layer of the agents. Our structural advantage is that even though our players do have a head start on the liquidity side, they haven't built for agents from a bottom-up perspective. And that's what we're doing. We know agents are the futures, and by creating agent-native capital-efficient credit, we're going to be able to get a bulk of the market. And to be honest, a lot of these aren't actually our competitors. They're actually going to be collaborators, and we're going to help to route their liquidity in a capital-efficient and risk-adjusted manner. So this is the team. Myself, Nathan Vandy. I was at TrueFi, where we gave 1.7 billion worth of under-collateralized credit, where I got a lot of this idea from. And Dap Radar, as you know, the data platform. Our CTO, Med, he made the first AMM on DEX on Scroll, and he was at Polygon and Mode, and our COO is a world-class operator who worked at financial institutions such as ABN AMRO and WTO, and you can see all of the partners that we've been able to amalgamate over this time, over the last 8 months, including also being mentioned in Forbes magazine and not for being 30 under 30. This is our 1.5 million pre-seed that we're looking to raise and fund and launch in Q2. We're really excited. We've got a lot of traction. Credit in any economy is inevitable, and we're here to create credit for the agentic economy. Thank you so much for listening, and open to any questions.
Thank you. Can you talk a little bit about the enforcement events and enforcement mechanisms? There is a lot of good thinking. How would it work in practice?
Yeah, I really love that question. One of the really strong analogies for this is understanding mortgages. So when you go to a bank and you ask for a mortgage on a house,
Mortgage has collateral. You do non-collateralize.
yeah, you don't need collateral because you can actually create a multi-signature wallet where you are the owner and the agent is a manager. So you still own all of the assets there, but the agent is able to move it. And if the agent ever does anything outside of your policies, you can remove that. But the agent still has that capital that it can earn on, take its performance fee for itself, and then also you can take your own money as well.
So it's more of asset management, not lending.
It's a mix of both of them because we focus on making sure that the agent doesn't lose the money. We actually have to enforce those because if it's just asset management, you can just ask people to deposit into an agent and they don't have the controls to be able to take that back. Credit is all about making sure that you stop loss from happening. And with the current mechanics, that isn't possible.
Sorry, can you just elaborate a bit more on how do you actually rate the risk from these agents? Because credit is all about risk.
I love that question. So we've been working on this for the past 8 months. And as I said, at TrueFi, this is one of the things I was working on, helping to structure the credit facilities. And I can just give you a high level of the 5 categories that we work on, which is performance, which translates to in credit terms as future payment, risk, provenance, stability, and sentiment. And we have individual scores for all of them, and then we amalgamate them into one score at the end, and we use that to pro rata create revolving credit facilities for the agents out of the aggregated capital that we get from both funds and also in the future, hopefully, agents. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Up next, we have Peter from Nemesis.
Hey guys, GM, how are we doing? Good? Awesome. Well, you guys probably recognized me before from the panel I have at yesterday's summit, but actually I'm building DeFi. So what is Nemesis, right? Nemesis is the DEX for internet capital markets. We're building a DeFi primitive for internet capital markets. And what does that mean, right? Before we dive into the details, let me ask a very simple question. Have any of you trying to leverage trade or short a on-chain token that's not listed on Binance or Hyperliquid? Yeah? Cool. Well, then you'll be one of our users, right? So we are building the DEX that allow any on-chain token to be swapped, long or shorted, and provided with liquidity always in one single liquidity pool. But think of it as Uniswap, but plus permissionless leverage. So the problem of the current short selling venues is it's heavily relied on derivatives, right? Derivatives is a separate market from spot liquidity. And there's so many tokens that are being created on a daily basis, hundreds of thousands across Palm.Fund and launchpads on EVM compatible chains, right? But the problem with proprietary futures is relying on a centralized listing approach, right? That's also applying to Hyperliquid and also relies on a permissioned market makers, right? So the HLP vault is actually built by the Hyperliquid team themselves. And so is Binance. They have a proprietary set of market makers, market making for perps, right? So there is a permissionless problem that needs to be solved by a permissionless solution. Right, so introducing OMM, omnidirectional market maker. So what is it? It's a novel liquidity framework that's built on the current designs of automated market makers that allow any on-chain token to be longed or shorted on spot liquidity. So we do not rely on derivatives, everything operating on spot liquidity, which is the only thing that the token has. And we do not rely on any external oracles. So the massacre happened on October the 10th will not happen on Nemesis. And we do not rely on any centralized components or permission market makers. Anybody can be a liquidity provider, and anyone can create a pool on Nemesis. So a truly decentralized and permissionless solution for everybody. So how does it work, right? So as a trader, let's say you want to short a token against the Ether. Well, what you will do is you will deposit Ether into an isolated margin account, right? And the protocol will borrow the liquidity from the pool, burn it, swap it on your behalf to create the desired exposure that your trade is looking to get, right? And there's a margin maintenance rate that's going to be evaluated at all time for your position. And once you breach the margin maintenance rate, you'll be liquidated. On the other end, the liquidity providers will not only be earning the trading fees, but also the interest income and part of the liquidation premium. So 3 layers of yield compared to if you are LPing on Uniswap or Aerodrome or anywhere else. That's the organic product edge across the entire DEX space. So there are 2 things that I want to emphasize. I think in the crypto space, now we are entering into an era that people are so based that we realize that there are only 2 areas that makes most money in the space. One is token creation, or what we call digital asset creation. We see the rise of Pump.Fun and all these launch pads and the AI agents nowadays, right? And then the other part is the token trading, right? So asset creation and asset trading, and that's why we capture both, right? And the reason for that is we're gonna redefine how IDO works, right? So if you think about how IDO works now, basically you compare a ERC20 token with an Ether into a liquidity pool, and the swap goes from there. However, with OMM and Nemesis, leverage trading starts from day one. So tokens don't need to be listed on Binance or Hyperliquid to be leverage traded. After 20 minutes of seeding the liquidity pool, the TWAP will kick in, and then you can leverage trade any of the tokens within the liquidity pool. So speaking of the team, I'm personally responsible for 3 million monthly active users and 5 billion on-chain volume before across 2 protocols that's venture-backed by $40 million in total. We have an associate professor of Vanderbilt University in the computer science department working on the architecture and the technical development of the protocol. We have folks from Microsoft, Google, Y Combinator-backed companies, and Binance. We have also assembled a strong, I would say, helper team, right, who have raised, 300 million in total funding and also invest in 32 unicorns in Silicon Valley who are helping us on resources. So far we have seen almost 600 unique addresses on V1 waitlist, and we have given out 2.3 million worth of NFTs to the community. They're all free mint, but they went up to 0.33 in Ether on Base. We have also partnered with District, which is the #1 ICM launchpad on Base, backed by Andreessen and Initialized. So that's it. I forgot to put my Telegram over here, but you guys can reach out to me later after this. But thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. So can you outline quickly what are the key difference to margin trading? Essentially, like within what you're doing, how is it different to locking up funds within the protocol and then like doing the margin trading?
We are essentially doing margin trading. Yeah, we're a margin trading protocol.
So where is the efficiency comes from then?
Huh?
Where the efficiency that you create, where does it come from?
The efficiency, the capital efficiency, right? So the liquidity providers, right? If you're LPing on a uni pool, you'll be earning the trading fees only. But on Nemesis, you're not only earning the trading fees that you will be earned from another DEX, but you'll also be earning the interest income and part of the liquidation flow. So any position that's default will be liquidated, and the part of the liquidation premium will be shared by the LP within that pool.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a quick question regarding, I actually really appreciate the concept of this, but in an industry where we're often battling between opportunity cost of manipulation and on a product that's going to be reliant on oracles for pricing index, what efforts are you putting forth in protecting yours and your users' assets?
Great question. So we are using a TWAP Oracle to handle liquidations, right? And in terms of liquidation, we have also built a partial liquidation mechanism that could softening the liquidation process, and also regarding the yield, right? Like the interest income and also part of the liquidation flow also compensates for the bad debts risk that LP take on within the pool. Any other questions? Okay, thank you guys. Have a good day.
All right, final two startups. We have OP from Vanna Protocol. Whichever one you can. And do you know how to? Okay. And then the timer is right.
So it will automatically go over there. So it will automatically be showcased over there. Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Opender, and with Vana you can actually leverage anything and anywhere. Now the question comes in, how? Let's see about this video. So there are around $100 billion plus liquidity that is over collateralized and idle, and the leverage that you see in the perps market is locked. That cannot compose beyond perps markets, and over collateralization keeps capital trapped to just lending markets, and even there is no safety net for the positions which are long in the markets, right? So how can we unlock this into Vana? That's where composable credit infra comes for DeFi. You can actually borrow under collateralized credit from the collateral, and
8 p.m. in the middle judging area.
And you can then, sorry. Okay. And then once you deposit the collateral, you can actually, sorry, this started again. So like, as you can see, the leverage is actually logged into the perps market, which cannot move beyond perps market, right? And over collateralization is keeping the capital trapped into the lending markets. And also there is no safety net for the liquidations, and any wick can actually wipe out the positions. So what if we can unlock it all? And that is where Vana comes in as a composable credit infra for DeFi. So you can borrow under collateralized credit with the collateral. Like, let's see how this works. First, you are depositing this collateral, let's say $1,000. And now, once this collateral gets deposited, you can borrow with simple leverage selection. And once you borrow this credit, you have got the total buying power, which you can utilize and deploy across multiple markets. And that's where, let's see how this happens. Let's say you open a spot position and worth $2,500 for ETH, and now you will be opening a hedge short into the perps market, where you are actually hedging the exposure and you are not going to get liquidated. And with the rest of the amount, you can actually deposit that into lending vault for earning extra yield. So this is just one example that I gave. You can actually make a lot of different strategies into Vana. The possibilities are limitless. And that's how you can maximize profit and minimize the risk. Now, the question comes in, what is the risk infrastructure for this? So how are we managing the risk? The thing is that we, first of all, do not allow users to withdraw the borrowed funds. And we keep a track of all the positions of the borrowed funds that go across multiple markets. Like, let's say when they go to Aave lending markets or LP markets, there is an LP token or APE token. Similarly, there is a track token for perp markets or derivative markets that we have created. So we will liquidate all the positions as soon as the collateral value falls below the threshold value, keeping our protocol solvent. Now, the question comes, why now? Because 70% of traders still lack sufficient capital access, and 90% of traders face liquidation risk. And this is the $50 trillion opportunity in trading volume by 2030 by a CAGR of 45%. And our business model is very simple. We earn fees when traders borrow at leverage, and we earn when they get liquidated from the part of liquidation penalties. And also we earn fee cashbacks because we are aggregating all the major DeFi protocols into the market. And we are competing, Gearbox is our major competitor here, but the core difference is that Gearbox is providing isolated margin and they are not providing access to derivative markets. And we are providing cross-margin unified accounts, and we are providing access to derivative markets as well. And we are even opening the access to prediction markets in the future as well. So this is how traction looks like. We got grants from 5 ecosystems, including Optimism, Stellar, Draper University, Polygon, and Gitcoin. And then we raised small pre-seed round. I have my own 20K plus following on the social media. And this is our future vision where we want to build a cross-chain agentic infra where you can simply use that credit to trade on any market irrespective of chain. And our ask is $2 million plus $3 million for liquidity bootstrapping on our protocol. And we have a team with experience of 10 plus years in DeFi and security research, including Aave, Spectral Finance, and Polynomial. And that's how the future is DeFi is composable. Let's talk if you're interested. Thank you. Any questions?
Could you talk a little bit more about how your smart contracts otherwise ensures liquidation and protection of your guys' margin calls and things of that?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. So when a user takes a loan, what happens is like it's a account abstraction-based smart wallet where that margin account gets created for that user. He actually borrows his, he actually deposits his collateral into that margin account where our liquidator contracts keep an eye on the position, right? So when he borrows the position against those collateral, we whitelist the DeFi protocols where he can actually go and trade on those markets because he cannot withdraw the funds out of this margin account. And once this liquidation, once the bad debt happens, then automatically our liquidator contracts come in and they will liquidate and pull back all these borrowed funds back to our lending pools, keeping our protocol solvent. Thank you. Any other question? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for staying with us. We have one last startup. This is going to be lane 3.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. I know it's Friday, well after 5 p.m. On the last day of ETHDenver. So my name is Elizabeth, and we are Lane 3. And we are tokenizing credit for real-world impact. So today there's a big gap in affordable housing builders who need access to more affordable credit for bridge funding. And there are crypto investors, Web3 investors, who want access to real-world assets with real-world yield. We are building the infrastructure layer for tokenized private credit through tokenized loan obligations. Affordable housing operates under an extremely broken system today. It's chronically underfunded compared to market rate housing, creating massive societal and economic challenges. In fact, 95% of private credit goes to market rate and commercial properties. Traditional credit markets are slow and fragmented. Capital can take months or years to be deployed. Financing costs are out of reach for many borrowers, and then that capital stays locked with no liquidity. This is the gap that we are addressing. Lane 3 solves this capital void through crypto-native infrastructure with tokenized private credit. We turn short-term impact loans into liquid digital credit markets through tokenized loan obligations. Blockchain tools reduce capital deployment time, create fractionalized investment opportunities and transparency, while ensuring real-world yield for investors and secondary liquidity opportunities. We originate these short-term loans, convert them then onto on-chain secured credit pools, giving crypto investors access to stable asset-backed yield. Our TLOs are designed to meet the capital needs of small and medium-sized builders of around $300,000 to $5 million over a 6 to 8 month loan period. The borrower APR 10 to 12%, the investor yield 8 to 10%, and then the lane 3 spread 2%. Investors deposit stablecoins into the lane 3 pools. We originate and structure those short duration housing loans. Borrowers repay with interest, and then the yield flows back to the investors. These asset-backed loans with collateral, guarantees, short-term durations, all reduce risk. Our protocol adds transparency, compliance, and liquidity. We're making private credit investable on-chain and unlocking scalability, repeatable, structured credit issuance. So why are we focused on the affordable housing market? Well, because there are over 7 million housing units just in the affordable sector alone, not even counting workforce housing, right, that are needed in the United States. That represents a financing gap of $400 billion, which means we realistically think our serviceable addressable market is $30 to $80 billion. And so why us? Why now? Well, because we've spent the last year building relationships with these affordable housing developers across the country that have created a $30 million pipeline of builders who want to build, which will result in 400 units of affordable housing being produced. And we have 10% fulfillment of that borrower pipeline in soft commitments already. We have the technical expertise on our team with over 10 years of DeFi and financial product sales, and then also local, regional, community development and economic development experience. In addition to that, we have an advisory board to help originate our loans with decades of banking and finance experience. And so where are we now? Right now, we want to raise in order that we can complete our platform, make sure our app is fully built out so we can have our smart contracts audited and deployed that will allow us to launch that first tokenized loan pool, which could be represented in a variety of number of loans, either in one city with one builder or across multiple cities with multiple builders. If you want to solve the housing crisis that we have in this country, here's a product we can do it with, and then post that, we can expand this to other markets that use private credit also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a quick question. Like, what happens at default, both on-chain and off-chain operationally?
Yeah. So small and medium-sized builders like we're focusing on generally have a default rate of 5%, which is ridiculously low, especially when you compare it to other tokenized products in the blockchain space. So we also collateralize those loans with other real-world assets they have, or with developer fees that they collect on other projects they have. So we have a variety of risk mitigation tools, and we've built that slippage also into the repayment terms as well. Any other questions? Okay, happy Friday, thanks.
All right, we got all pitching now, and now we were wrapping up. So, yeah, first of all, let's give a round of applause for everyone here and judges and the pitcher project. I'm very excited, and everything was amazing to see. So, here it comes. So now is the time to see who is the winner, right? Okay. So the winner is every project. So every project goes to the R&D room of our Kindle, and actually that is a private room. So you guys can connect to the VC later on to all our the partners VC. So please give a round of applause to the all project. Okay, so and also the feedback that we got from all judges, we will aggregate it, and later on we will share to the whole project. So okay, it was really amazing event for today, and thank you for joining us today. And ETHDenver is gonna keep going, and we will also gonna do our event in the future. So now you guys here, and you guys are founder or VC. It's just still have a chance if you keep it building for the future. Maybe you will be the one that gonna pitch in the next one. All right, thank you everyone, and please give a round of applause again. And now we will take a picture. So the picture, all our picture come to the